Hey everyone, and welcome back. So everybody got their little, including me, their little hearts aflutter because of these galaxy hearts, galaxy stones hearts. Because they're stones, they're not technically gems because they're not translucent, they're opaque because you can see the highlight and the lightest part of the stone is together. And then it's a lot darker down here. So, and then a little bit of blue that I have down here is sort of like reflecting from, I don't know, I guess the ground. And so it kind of gives it a nice shimmery effect. Anyway, I totally wanted to show you guys how I did this. This is toned tan paper. And I will, hold on, let me get my pad, I'll show you. It is by, I want to say Strathmore? Yeah. It is this one, a toned tan by Strathmore. It's this giant pad. I just got it because both of my small pads have been used up for a while. Because I really love how toned tan paper looks with especially black and white. It's one of my favorites. This is black, white, and gray, but kind of the same effect. So, anyway, I wanted to do another one because I want it to be up here. So I figured I would do it on here so you guys could see. I'm trying not to like wrinkle the paper and have it back here at the same time where I can work on it. Let's see if I can move y'all so you can see better. There we go. That's a little bit better, I think. We'll see if you're stable. Okay. The colors I've used for this are, of course, white, because I use white for, like, everything. Light cobalt turquoise. This is probably my favorite polychroma, like, or at least one of them. The other, I think, is the green one that's, like, super light like that. Let's see. And then fuchsia, and then I have purple violet, and Delft blue. Okay, so those are the ones I am using for these hearts. And so I just start by sketching out the outline in Delft blue. And you know how you always get one side of the heart correct, and then the other was like, looks like it was drawn by someone who has a mental illness? Nothing against the, like, I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything, but seriously, like, I always do this where I draw one and then the other one looks like it's the retarded redheaded stepchild or something. So I do these like little sketchy things so I can kind of try and match it up. It doesn't always work, as you can see. Still doesn't match, but it's close enough that I won't complain too much. If you have a really hard time with hearts, an easy trick for you guys is to take, let me see if I can find a piece of paper that's really small that doesn't have important information on it. That's watercolor paper. Where's all my scrap? I don't know. Anyway, okay, that'll work. So you take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and then along the folded edge, do the good half of your heart, and then cut it out, and you'll have a stencil. You can have a stencil that you can use as the whole piece of paper or as the piece that you've cut out, and either one will give you a symmetrical heart that is much better because it's symmetrical. So You can either use it like that and use it like a stencil, or you can use the part you cut out and hold it onto there and trace around it. So that's just easy. And I know February, you know, and all the hearts and lovey things that people do. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan. I've always found Valentine's a little bit cheesy, as well as just ridiculous. I am a rather off the beaten path kind of person, and I don't think that I should be dictated to a day when I must tell the person that I love them. And so we don't, me and my husband, even when he was my boyfriend, we never did anything like that. I've never done anything like that. I do have a standing Valentine's Day date sort of thing, like, but that's with my best friend because we were single together for a very, very long time. And so we always did something kind of fun for each other, but never like super romantic or anything like that. It was just, we did something fun so that we didn't, you know, feel left out too much. But she is my better half for sure. Not saying my husband isn't, I'm just saying I have a long-standing tradition with my best friend. She's kind of amazing, and I've lived most of my life with her by my side. We've known each other since we were, like 8 or 9. So yeah, I've known her for a very, very, very long time. Same with my husband. I've known him for a very, very long time as well. Just not always as close to him in my younger years as I was to my best friend. But I did grow up with my husband. He was my husband's best friend. My husband was my older brother's best friend. He was always in the house growing up. He was kind of that friend that just walked in the door and opened the fridge. We all yelled at my mom that Jamie was there. So, alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of a base. So I've got the highlight coming from, or the light source kind of coming from this direction. So in this one, I'm going to kind of do it here. Maybe a little bit over here as well, because I don't have this one shifted as dramatically as the others. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of a white base up here. And it can extend down as far as you want, because this is just putting down the preliminary colors anyway. With toned tan paper, this is a very fibrous paper, has a lot of tooth, which means you can put down a lot of layers, which you really need to in order to get the very, very smooth appearance on top like these are. And since I don't burnish, and burnishing, if you don't know, is where you take the pencil and you really, just mush together all the tooth at the very end of your coloring so that it gives that high gloss. And you can do that relatively quickly depending on how intense you are with how much pressure you use and all that on your coloring. I use very little pressure when I color, because I like to build up the layers and the intensity of the colors. So I do not burnish ever, really, because I just don't like doing that. And also it means that I can't color for as long, because burnishing is a very heavy pressure and it will end up hurting my hand after a little while. And so I prefer not to do that. So this is going to be kind of my highlight spots. So I've got the darker here and then the lighter here I'm going to be doing. And then maybe some down here as well. I don't know. I just kind of color all over these. I'm going to switch to the fuchsia. Start bringing in some of the pink that I want around it. Kind of that magicalness about it. like I said, these are just preliminary layers that will build up. So I'm not being terribly neat or clean with any of these. And as you can see, the tooth of the paper shows through very, very well because it's so fibrous, which is very, very cool actually, because it can give you lots of extra texture if you leave it like that and you like that super sketchy look. Which I do when I'm using like just black and white. I think it gives it a very, very neat feel. I'm switching over purple violet now, which is the main color for these. But when I'm doing like these colored pictures and whatnot, I prefer to have that very, very smooth look, which requires extra layers on these. So, by the way, nothing against Valentine's Day or hearts and stuff. Like, I just find it a little bit cheesy. I do like hearts, like the shape of it. Hearts have nothing to do, by the way, with the shape of a heart. Has nothing to do, by the way, with an actual heart, as I'm sure most of you know. If you actually look at hearts, anatomical hearts, they do not look anything like this. The shape of the heart, I believe I was told or I read somewhere that it comes from a woman's butt when she bends over, and that's love. If you're like me and you're a little bit on the chubby side, like, you got one of them really nice, cute butts. But yeah, I'm sure it's totally a man's invention, as are most things that women enjoy. Like, heels, bras, that kind of thing. All men's inventions. Why we let men invent things for us, I don't know. But we have in the past. And I'm like, women are better at that because they know what they need. Should leave it to us. By the way, heels are horrible for you. They jack up your knees and your hips and your back and like everything else. I actually do not own a pair of heels. And I'm one of those people who could wear heels because I'm like 5 foot nothing. But no. I did my time. Used to wear heels when I was younger. Full of hope. Then I grew up and was like, yeah, no. I'd rather be comfortable. So as you can see, I just end up building up layer after layer after layer on top of here. And I go back and forth with a couple of the different colors. And I start using more pressure as I go. Not a ton more, but as you do more layers, I use a bit more pressure just to get really nice coverage. And it's kind of slow work, especially on the tone tan paper. You can always, of course, use a blending solution. I have mine up here, but I have not used it on the tone tan paper. I don't think like ever actually. I could try, but I don't want to ruin this. I don't know how it works. anytime I have new stuff, I don't ever, or doing something new or want to try something, I never try it on a piece of work that I'm working on. I always try it on scrap paper first, because I don't want to ruin something, or, like, I mean, I probably wouldn't ruin it, because I know it works well with polychromos or whatnot, but I don't know how it works with this paper. Like, if it'll leave, like, some kind of a stain, if I get it outside the lines, or anything like that. So, I won't use it until I've tested it out first. I learned that lesson definitely the hard way. I did this beautiful color pencil and watercolor piece of one of my favorite rings that I got from New Era Jewels. She's a jeweler here in Dallas Fort Worth. This is actually the ring. I did a painting and coloring of this ring, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. I mean, it was one of the photorealistic ones that I did, and it was just amazing. And I was working on it for a show that I was going to be in. It was going to be one of my big creative pieces, and I decided to put a sealer on it so that it had a very uniform look on the very top, and I did not test out the sealant first, and it actually eroded, like melted away at the, I don't know if it reacted with the colored pencil or if it reacted with the watercolor or what exactly happened, but it reacted and it basically dissolved half the painting. Like, I mean, it just started like sliding away. Like, it was horrible. It's like watching a train wreck. You just couldn't look away from it. I do still have a picture of it, but I do not have a scan of it, so I can never like do anything with it. I'd have to redo the entire piece, which I'm sure I eventually will, but it took, I mean, like, hours and hours worth of work, as you can imagine. And it kind of broke my heart because it was one of the first ones that I ever did that was just really crazy cool. And so there's a little bit of heartbreak there. And my phone's vibrating. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to put it on silent mode before I started recording. In other news, since we're just sitting here building up layers, January sticker packs that are going out for everybody who gets sticker packs. I want your feedback. I used a couple of different suppliers for the stickers, and so I want your feedback on which ones you like, which quality you like for what. Like, what are you going to put it on? Is it going to be on a notebook? Is it going to be like on, I don't know, what else you would put it on, your phone case, a coffee cup? Like, I have no clue what you want to use it on. So if you would pretty please give me lots and lots and lots of feedback, I would really appreciate it as to which ones you like and stuff, and which ones are best for what, and what you would prefer going forward, because I'm sending you, you know, like I said, different ones. So please, 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 when you get them, I want feedback, not just, oh my god, I love them, because, you know, everybody does. But I actually want to know, like, what you like about them, be specific, like which ones, so that I can continue getting them from a supplier that you're going to really enjoy, and get the most use out of. And I mean, if you're just going to not use them and just have them laying around or whatever, that's cool. Just tell me which ones you like, design-wise and all that. There's going to be a couple of different ones. And not everybody has the same amount of everything, because I switched it up just a little bit and also ran out of like 2 of them. but I put extras in others, so that won't happen again, because now I kind of can gauge how many I need and all that fun stuff. But like I said, I do want to know which ones you like the most. And I had like my epiphany of what the next big piece will be for February's like big piece for the postcards or whatnot. And my idea, here's my idea, is to do a prickly pear cactus, but do it all out of faceted gems, like I did with the butterfly, basically. And have like a bloom and like the prickly pear coming up, and so like have green gems made into the prickly pear, basically, and then just have like the bloom coming out at the top and have that as little tiny gems as well. I've been trying to flesh out the idea on the new tablet. Have not gotten very far. I'm still working on whether or not I want to do like gems for the pot, or if I want the pot of it, the pot part, like the planter, to be like gemmy, or if I just want to do it in like gold or what. So please let me know, because I want to get started on it, what your thoughts are on that, because I want to get started on it pretty soon. I don't want to leave it to a last minute type of thing. So there we go. Usually I turn this and kind of work on it more so that I can get I don't think you can hear it, but when I do this, my desk squeaks a little bit, which is kind of funny. Also, turning your paper, because you're constantly doing it in the same way, so turning your paper usually will help you to get more into the tooth of the paper. Would also help if I would actually, you know, sharpen my pencils. Okay, so now we go back to the Delft Blue, which is the darkest one, and I go back in and make a really great, really dark edge on the entire thing and kind of blend it in as I go. Just like that. That edge nice and sharp and dark. And then I will also trace around it, as you can see with these, with my pen. And on these I was using the Faber-Castell, which ones? Yeah, the Pitt Artist pens on this one, because they work really well even when they're on top of the pencil as well as on this paper. These were actually gifted to me by one of you guys. It was a huge surprise, and I was very, very blessed by that. And so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I do go through black pens pretty quick. The only ones that I have not gone through too quickly that seem to have like a bigger ink reservoir are the Staedtler pigment liners that I use for most of my coloring pages and whatnot. Drawing those out and such. Those are my favorite for pretty much everything else, but the Pitt pens are nice on this, so yeah, okay. And then I'll go back and mess with this until I just feel like it's perfect. Although it will never be perfect the way I want. Like, ever. I'm almost never satisfied, guys. I'm a perfectionist. I can't help it. So. Now is when you would use a whole bunch of pressure and burnish it, if you were going to burnish it. And you would use either like a blender pencil, or you would use one of the lighter color pencils like the blue or the white. But like I said, I don't really like to do that, so I'm not going to. And now, I need some scrap paper. Again, get my white pen going. This is the Uniball Signo broad tip. And I'm doing it right on the edge of like where my light is, so it kind of feels like it's got like that shiny, okay, maybe not, that shiny like glass feel right on top of it. Kind of like with labradorite, where it's like got that little bit of a raised up feel on the top of it versus just it being shiny. You know, where you see almost like the colors receded a bit. But that's what I'm going to do right here. I don't like this one. Oh, I don't like this one at all. Oh my gosh. I'll have to fix it. I told you, I'm picky, y'all. I'm picky. That's a little bit better. Not a whole lot, but a little bit, okay? Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll just do like a little bit of, maybe I need my gel pen instead. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a little bit of highlight right there. Does that work? I guess that works. Sort of. My pencil needs to be sharper. Okay. That's how you do it. The only thing left to do is to edge it just in black. And that's it. It gives it a very, I feel, like a very, very polished look to the edge of it, which is what I want. So, usually I do it the other way around, by the way, where I will draw everything out and then outline it in black and then color it in. But I started doing it this way last night, so I'm just going to continue. And I'll probably do some more on this before it's a finished piece. Because I want to do some more, like, doodling like this. So. And our postcard should be here today, hopefully. the post has been like really wonky lately, and it's been like telling me that it can't find it in the tracking system, like all that, which always worries me, but it usually gets here okay. So and then as soon as Patreon decides to pull for January, I can go get them all posted and put in the mail. So there we have it, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you do some galaxy hearts or galaxy gems or however you'd like to do them. These little galaxy stones or whatnot. So enjoy it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.